Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Beyond the Arc podcast. And it's a very special week this week. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best and busiest weeks in the NBA season because tomorrow is the trade deadline. Now, I was thinking maybe we could do a video towards near the end of the week, but we're gonna keep it constant with the Wednesday. Some trades have already been made. Some big trades that we're gonna be talking about later in the video. And next week we will review what actually went down on the deadline. I'm joined once again with Sully. How are you doing today, my guy?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Lots of stuff has been
Yeah,
happening
big things.
off court. You know, we've talked about the trades, but one big thing that's happened that we're going to talk about is the All-Star reserves being announced.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
we we talked about the starters last week. We gave our opinions on who could be in the reserves,
Mm.
and the reserves have been released. We'll give our opinions on that very shortly. But before we get into the video, make sure you're liking and subscribing on the YouTube. Um, Tell your friends to like and subscribe, share it out. And if you listen on any other podcast platform, uh, share that out too. And also give us any ideas on what we can do in the future. But today, without further ado, I say a lot to talk about. I've only really got down two main topics to talk about today,
Mm.
but we
But they're
can.
big ones.
They're big ones. They're big ones.
Mm.
So I think we're gonna start with the All Star reserves. So
Yeah.
last week we did talk about the All Star stars. We talked about who might have been snubbed from that. But if you're getting snubbed from a starter, you're probably gonna be put straight into the reserves.
Yeah.
So one person. So let's go through the West to begin with, and you've got your usual Chris Paul. You said probably
Yeah.
could have been a starter. You said Draymond could have been a starter
But he's
potentially.
injured.
He has got injured, but he
Yeah.
did get picked for the
Yeah.
reserves. And you got Luka Doncic in there. Who, that's a pretty easy pick. I think out of anyone in there though, Paul, Mitchell, Booker, Doncic, Green, Towns, and Gobert. Are you saying any of them don't deserve to be in the All Star team?
Um, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think I want to say cut, but I can't because at the same time he's a big player in the NBA. But I don't know. There's just a lot of there's more every year. I feel like there's more and more people that can be put in there
Yeah,
because
definitely.
the older guys are still in the league, and then the newer people like Ja Morant and Lamelo and all these guys, they're coming in and like they need to make space for some of the new guys. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say who deserves to be in it and stuff. But I think there's a nice choice. There's a nice range, I would say.
What I'm saying about the reserves there, especially in the West, is as much as Rudy Gobert is one of the best defenders in the league, he plays for a good team in the Jazz. I just don't think the All Star game works for him. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. It's a very offensive game, and it's just a lot of fun. And I don't know how much offense he can bring to the game,
No.
and like especially for the fans watching. Like I don't, I'm sure there's some hardcore Rudy Gobert fans out there that'll be happy to see him out there, but in terms of just neutral NBA fans, I don't think they'll be too excited.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be. I think nobody's gonna be expecting Rudy to pull up from half court
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and do anything from that. So I think in terms of the West, other than that, I think it's genuinely everything that we could have said. And Dejounte Murray being picked in there is as a substitute in for Draymond, I feel like is well deserved too. How are
Yeah,
you thinking too?
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
the Spurs haven't been doing that well this year, but he's averaging like 29 and 7.
Has
That's
to be in there.
that's big. He has to be in there, and I feel like he deserves it. Um, so out of out of that West team, do you think there's not really anyone that has been kind of robbed of a place?
No, I wouldn't say so. There's not any big shocking ones anyway. Um,
I think there's potential that someone like Anthony Edwards, you know, if Cat's getting
yes,
picked in there,
yeah. I feel
maybe
like
Anthony could, but I don't
Anthony
think
Edwards, especially this year, has been putting up some nice numbers following his rookie season. Um, and I would have liked to see him in there, to be honest. You know, like especially like him and Melo could have had like a one-on-one, especially since they were like the top two rookies from last year. Would have been good to see, but I feel like we'll definitely see him in there next year.
yeah, definitely. Because you know the Timberwolves are not even doing that bad this year, so they are going
Mm,
to keep improving. I think it's the East where questions have been asked,
yeah, yeah.
especially when the reserves came out. Obviously,
Mm,
a few questions have been left after obviously Lamelo got put in after being dropped out. But the fact is, when you look at the East reserves, yes, there's no proper centers in there. But I think other than Chris Middleton, I think everyone on there maybe probably deserves to be in the All Star game.
I was gonna say Chris Middleton, that one, and a lot of people aren't happy about, which is understandable. Um, but everyone else, like I'm seeing a lot of names. Like I was obviously I'm happy that Melo's in there, and there's like a lot of people that should be there that are there. Of course, Chris Middleton is a big question mark, but at the end of the day, he is still like a big player in the NBA. So I do understand it, but
Is he
it's
bigger? Is he bigger at the moment than like this season? Has he been bigger than the likes of Jalen Brown,
no,
maybe Bradley Beal?
no,
Nah,
no,
not really.
he hasn't.
So obviously, the big news that came out of the East, not only the snubs, but also the fact that Kevin Durant won't be able to play in the All Star
Yeah,
game
that
for the second year
was
in a row.
upsetting. Yeah, that was upsetting, man. Especially because like this year he's been playing a lot. I didn't think he'd get injured again around the All Star time. 'Cause last year, obviously, we saw KD return. We thought we'd see him. We didn't. It was okay. But again, like, it's a bit, it's just frustrating, man. The guy's not getting any younger. We want to see him in these All Star games, like, at least, a few more. But at the same time, what can you do? Like, they can't control these things, unfortunately. If they could, they would. So obviously, it's upsetting for fans, but they got some nice replacements in there. So,
Yeah, I think KD is a very good player, but I think if you're looking for entertainment value, I'm surprised that Lamelo didn't even get put in there to begin
mm,
with, given that the
true.
NBA doesn't really. I mean, obviously they take stats into account, but like any big company does, they want eyes on the product,
Yeah,
and
true.
Lamelo will bring that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm really excited to see Melo in the All Star game. I've seen he's got like a bet with Shaq on. Because like he used to do this trademark thing in college. Like he'd point at the half court and then pull up. And Shaq said if you could pull that off in the game, he'll give him, I think, 100,000, 10,000, something along those lines. It's a big bet, and
Mad.
I mean, I'd love to see him pull up from half court.
No, me too. I mean, you got really only Steph, Luca, who are properly like well known for that this year. Obviously, no
Yeah,
Dame, um, or anything like that. So yeah, maybe
Trey Young could potentially.
potentially Trey. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's true. Forgot about Trey. Yeah, he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have been in the
Yeah,
starters anyway.
he
So,
shouldn't have been, but he is there, so he might be pulling up. Who knows?
although with Durant out, I might get my wish of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan starting combo anyway.
I feel like that needs to happen, man. Them two especially, they've been outstanding. I'm surprised that like if that doesn't happen, I'll be shocked. But I feel like Zach especially needs to start, man. He's having an amazing year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I personally, maybe being a bit pessimistic, I think that James Harden might end up being voted in as the replacement, mainly because he plays for the Nets.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
he's a
I
big
feel
name. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't want to see that guy in the All Star game if I'm being real. Um, but who knows? I wouldn't want to see it personally, but he's a big name, so I wouldn't be surprised if the NBA did that.
so. Now the uh squads have been pretty much announced.
Hmm.
Obviously, they do the whole um, like they draft the squads. I don't know when that's happening, but they draft the squads.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, an MVP can come on any squad. Who are you saying is going to be the MVP for the All Star game this year?
Who? If I'm honest, I feel like it might be Melo. I feel like he's gonna just pull off a lot of flashy things, and it's gonna be really entertaining. That's what people want, and obviously it's all fan voted, and I think like everyone will just vote for him. I feel like he's gonna pull off something crazy, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis won it for the second year in a row. Um,
True.
and I think maybe I'm putting an outside bet for Luca. Maybe,
You reckon?
I think it depends. It really does depend how like the mindset that the players come in with.
True.
You got some players in there who might be like taking a little bit too seriously because it's their first All Star
Mm,
game, but then it's the people who kind of just take a back seat, take it a bit lightly, try a load of new things, and weirdly enough, it's usually them players that like still do the best. Giannis ended
yeah.
up with what like a perfect field goal percentage last year,
I
and he
feel
was he
like
was knocking down like four
mm,
threes. He'd never knocks down
yeah.
threes.
I feel like Ja's probably gonna be the one who's gonna like try and show out the most in terms of like you know because obviously he's gonna be around all these star players. I feel like he's gonna try and take it a little bit too seriously and like just try and show like not show off like in terms of like flashy kind of passes and shots or whatever, but kind of just go the hardest because I don't know. Obviously, he's getting a lot of buzz right now, and I feel like maybe that's what he's gonna do. But then I feel like Melo's the type of guy like the way he plays in the actual league itself, like feels
Yeah,
like
it's
he's playing the
crazy.
All Star game.
Yeah,
So
and to be fair, if you're putting him with all-star level players, you're taking away. Like, no offense to Gordon Hayward or Miles Bridges or Terry Rozier,
yeah,
you put him with
but yeah,
someone like Giannis or LeBron.
it's gonna work out a lot better for him.
Yeah, definitely.
That might be like good for him in terms of like scouting as well. Like let's say a lot of these bigger teams see him perform well with these bigger players. Like a lot of these big teams might be trying to like snatch him up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm looking last year, with Zach LaVine and Zion. That was a nice pairing. Obviously,
Yeah,
nothing's ever going to happen at the moment with that. You never know.
yeah,
Zach might leave at
true.
the end of the season, but
Zion down.
it's mad that Zion was in the All Star team last year.
Honestly, I feel like he's gonna be one of them. In 10 years when we talk about the ones that could have been, he's gonna be in that conversation.
Well, you never know. He might actually start playing again. But we'll talk about why later because we still haven't finished with the All Star. We've
Mm.
obviously talked about the All Star reserves. We talked about the starters. The All Star weekend doesn't just revolve around the All Star game, although the
Yeah.
way things are going at the moment, it probably will. But obviously, there is your dunk contest, there is the 3-point contest, skills challenge, rising stars challenge. So all of that got announced over the last week. Let's talk about the 3-point contest, which big omission from that is that there is no Steph Curry. I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously he's probably opted not to be in it. He won last year. He's won it twice already. Maybe he don't want to go for the three-peat.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like maybe he wanted to make way for other people, but I don't know. I feel like that's just everyone expects him to be in it. So I mean, I was really shocked personally. I don't know what the reasoning behind it was. Maybe it'll come out, but I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing. Like when it comes to All Star Weekend, you expect Steph to be pulling up with the threes, and I don't know. I was quite shocked when I saw that, but I mean, who knows like the actual reason? But that was strange. If I'm being honest, that was strange.
Yeah, definitely. And probably even more kind of shocking is the fact that Karl Anthony Towns is in it. He's obviously a decent 3-point shooter, but you never really get a center in the 3-point contest.
I was gonna say you're more likely to see him in a dunk contest or something rather than a 3-point contest. Like I was just, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're trying to switch it up and make it a bit more entertaining. Like maybe like I don't know, meme some NBA players. I don't know, but we'll see. You never know. Cat might really like surprise everyone with his 3-point shooting. Who knows? Like,
To be fair, he can shoot. He can shoot. He's a very good big man. It just
mm,
shows the evolution of the big man, really. That
yeah, true.
he's in the 3-point contest. Obviously, people are going to be asking questions about it, but overall, you're not really
Mm.
going to be seeing
Who
like
knows? Next year we might see Jokic and Embiid and Giannis in the 3-point contest or something like that.
you never know. And so, obviously, out of the 8, who do you think might actually come out with the dub?
It's a tough one. I'm gonna need to know all the names. I can't remember off the top of my head. Who have we got in the 3-point contest?
Okay, so it's Desmond Bain, Luke Kennard, Zach LaVine, CJ McCollum, Patty Mills, Karl Anthony Towns, Fred VanVleet, and Trae Young.
Oh, Trey. It has to be Trey. It has to be Trey.
You thinking Trae? I
I'm
mean,
thinking,
I'm gonna back my boy.
are you gonna back Zach? I mean, after he got robbed from the dunk contest, like I mean, we could talk about that one, but who know? I don't know. I feel like Trey, like everyone says, he's like the regen of Steph. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
I, I feel like he probably will pull up with the 3-pointers, but CJ McCollum, like he's not amazing any like what he used to be, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, without Steph there, maybe Trey could be an odds on, but there isn't really
Yeah,
like an odds on favorite in there like there has been previous years
yeah,
with Steph.
100%. Like
Or,
right now, it could be
yeah,
anyone because when Steph's there, okay, it's a wrap.
when Dame's there, really as well,
Yeah,
you're like it's gonna
true.
be Steph or Dame.
But
But yeah,
I feel like
we'll
now
know.
you never know. Like now, it's anyone's game.
Yeah, definitely. And then we move on to the dunk contest, which it's just in the gutter now, isn't it? No one cares about the dunk contest anymore, which is a real
It's
shame.
not as it's really not as exciting as it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel,
I remember.
go on.
I watched it last year because I reviewed the All Star Weekend on the podcast,
Yes, I
and
remember.
I was just the dunks were just a bit bad. You know, I feel like this year it might be a little bit better though. The back to 4 people, and I feel Jalen Green in there might be a little bit of a sleeper pick.
Yeah,
You put a rookie in there who hasn't had the best season so far. Obviously, it's
yeah,
quite hard to have a good season when you're playing for the Rockets, but even then, a lot of people, you're the number one, you're the number 2 pick, sorry, and you're not even in any rookie of the year conversations
literally,
over
yeah.
halfway through the season, and yeah, that's not good enough, really.
Hmm.
So maybe he might be looking to prove himself a little bit there, and
100%. I mean, I was just gonna say, like, obviously he's one of those, especially being the number 2 pick. He's wants to get some buzz around his name. It's been half the season, playing with the Rockets, not performing well. Maybe him showing out in the dunk contest, maybe even getting the dub, like that would create some buzz around him, and it might even give him some confidence. Even though I know it's not like proper competitive basketball, but that might just boost his like confidence. And then when he takes it to the league, he knows, okay, like these fans are starting to know me now. I'm starting to get some reputation, and he might show out with his basketball to like keep that reputation or build on it.
yeah, definitely. I mean, for that reason alone, I think he might actually win the dunk contest this year.
I'd like to see it. Honestly, I'd like to see it. It'd be good for him and his NBA career as well, especially rookie season. You don't want these guys in their first year to just like drop straight away. So it would be nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and then finally, well, if the Rising Stars Challenge is kind of just, it's nice to see that they're finally putting in some G League players in there. I feel like the
Yeah.
G League doesn't get covered, obviously for
Mm.
good reason, but it doesn't get covered near as much as the NBA. So it's good that they're putting G League players in there, and I like what they're doing the Skills Challenge a little bit this year too. Have you
Yeah.
have you seen what they're doing?
Now you're gonna have to. I've heard that. Like I saw a couple of things in the NBA app, but
Like
I'm not.
they split it into like three teams, kind of. So they've got 3 Cavs players, the Antetokounmpo brothers, and then 3 rookies.
Damn,
And
that's gonna be entertaining.
I think it's just gonna be quite. I think it's just gonna be quite cool. Like, so I mean, oh man, the rounds is a lot. It's very looks very complicated, but it seems like they're gonna participate in like a shooting round, which
Yeah.
for Giannis and his brother's probably not the best. But yeah, and then it's like the passing challenge, so like hit the targets and that, and then they do like a relay challenge or something like that as well.
Damn.
And then the final round is half court shots.
That's gonna be fun to watch as well.
So it's a case where there's gonna be like they're gonna eliminate a team before the final round, and then the first team to hit a half court shot wins the skills challenge.
Okay, who's the Cubs players?
So it's Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen.
Oh damn, that's gonna be fun. What about the rookies?
Cade, Josh Giddey, and Scotty Barnes.
That's gonna be fun to watch. To be honest, I feel like Kid will want to show up as well in that skills challenge. Show what he's made of, considering he's not brought the hype that everyone thought he would.
I personally think if the Cavs do end up getting through to the final, it'll probably be the Cavs that win. I think Darius Garland from half courts.
I can definitely back that as well.
Probably a better shot than
I don't see
anyone else there.
Giannis or any of his brothers like draining it from half court.
You don't know.
I mean, it's the All-Star weekend. It's All-Star weekend.
Yeah, you never know. But anyway, the All-Star weekend, maybe other than the dunk contest, is shaping up to be quite an entertaining weekend in my opinion.
It is. You know what? I feel like it's going to be a lot better than last year.
Yeah, well, definitely. With fans in, I feel like the Stars will actually take it properly this time. LeBron last year played like 4 minutes, so I feel like this year he might actually take it a little bit more seriously. Hopefully, by next week's video, they should have drafted the team, so we'll be able to actually give a proper prediction of who's going to win. But before that, we're going to talk about the trades.
Yes.
So the trade deadline is tomorrow. So a lot of trades will be happening tomorrow as a result of that. But I feel like big trades are being made at the moment, which is why we're going to talk about it now rather than all together next week.
Yeah.
If we talked about them all together next week, we'd be going for about.
It'll take the whole episode.
The first one I want to talk about is just how Portland have just managed to end their team.
It's peak, man. It is so peak on Dame because now you know that he's gonna there's absolutely no question that he's cutting from that team, and it's like if you watch now, if you look at the last few years, if you look from 5 years ago, if you look at the ball off of Portland, it is unbelievable. Like, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. And to say that this was once a team that people thought had a chance, challenging for the chip.
Yeah, I mean they got close.
They were very close.
If the Warriors weren't amazing, they got to the Western Conference Final.
Exactly. We all remember Dame time and everything. We remember that was iconic in the NBA. And now you look at that team and the next generation, or not even the next gen, but if some kids that are young NBA fans now that in a few years when they're older, they're not even gonna know about Portland like that. And I find it crazy, especially when you sent me that trade, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it because I knew straight away that team is they're gonna have to be on the rebuild again, badly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I think I have read that they are trying to rebuild around Dame.
You reckon?
I mean, it might be a decent idea. If Dame isn't gonna be playing for the rest of the season, if he's out for the season, and they just tank for the rest of the year, they get themselves a lottery pick.
I was just gonna say,
and then pair Dame with the number 2-3 pick. You never know.
It could work.
I don't think it will work. You're not just gonna put a rookie with Dame and then it's gonna all of a sudden provide you with better results than you would if you had CJ and Norman Powell and that. But
I see what you mean.
You never know. I personally do think that Dame can't be seeing this and being like, "This is fine."
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, he's gonna now look at an exit plan, and if they if obviously you're saying they're trying to build around him, then they'll I mean, they must be like talking to his agents or his managers or whatever, trying to like say, listen, we've got this plan. Because I mean, NBA don't communicate with the players or the NBA team, sorry, as much as people think. But I feel like in this situation, they have to, because Dame is their star guy. Obviously, I don't think he's at the quality that he was a few years ago, but he's still up there.
Hmm.
Because if Dame pulls up, then like it's not safe for anyone.
No, no,
And
definitely.
I feel like that team needs to communicate with him what their plans are if that's the case. But I think either way, he's cutting from that team.
Yeah, I mean, Dame's gonna be coming back. He'll have woken up. He'll walk into practice the next day. Obviously, he's injured, so he just walks in to have a look at everyone, and it'll be like that Fresh Prince meme where he's kind of just in the middle of the room. There's no furniture.
Or it'll
Like,
be like in Fresh Prince when they're like, pass to Will. That's all it'll be. Pass to Dame. Pass to Dame.
Dame's got a broken. Dame's like broke his hand. Pass it to him. Pass it to him.
Pass to Dame. So he can play one-handed. He's still better than all of you.
No, but it's the fact. It's the fact that like they've traded him for pretty much nothing.
It's weird. But
Like
then
the
if you
CJ
look at
McCollum one, for
mm,
example. Like they've traded CJ, Larry Nance, and Tony Snell. Larry Nance and Tony Snell, two like role players.
mm,
CJ McCollum's their like second biggest player. For Josh Hart, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Thomas Satoransky, some rando that I've never heard of, and two draft picks.
I mean, I was
It
gonna
doesn't
say
say,
like
it doesn't
those
say
names
whether it
mean
doesn't say
nothing.
whether the draft picks are like first round. I'd assume at
They
least
should
one
be
of them has to
decent,
be. At
hopefully.
least one of them has to be a first round.
Well, so if they get a first round draft pick and then like for whenever, and that's soon, let's just say, then Dame like could be potentially paired with a first draft pick if they are lucky and their stars are aligned in the perfect place and he decides to stay. Then you never know. It could be one of those like portraits gone okay. But I don't know. I feel like Pelicans have absolutely robbed Portland
Yeah,
with that one.
let's talk about the other side for a sec. Let's talk about the Pelicans. Is this now a team that can push for a top six in the West?
Not this year. Not this year by any means. But next year, the potential is there. I don't know the Zion situation.
I'm gonna say, does Zion now look at the roster and is like, "Damn, I'm gonna come back now."
Oh yeah, I feel like if he has to stay, I mean, they've still got JaVale. I'm right in saying that, yeah?
JaVale,
McGee.
JaVale plays for the Suns.
Is it? Damn.
Yeah,
I see this team is just so dry. I forget who plays for them and who doesn't play for them.
Brandon Ingram, do you mean?
Brandon Ingram, I know he's there. Obviously, they've now got CJ.
Yeah, yeah.
You throw Zion into the mix. Decent big three. Not major,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, we know in that situation, most things are going to run through Zion, if not CJ.
Yeah, definitely.
Who knows? Who knows?
I
With a
mean, I think
decent draft pick as well.
I'm gonna say if you've sought a lot of role players around there, like I'm looking at their roster now, they have Jonas Valanciunas at the center, and then otherwise it's just a load of trash. Maybe Devontae Graham potentially as a
Mm,
decent point guard. But yeah, no. Otherwise, it's not very good. So I feel like maybe you are right, probably in saying that this year it's definitely not going to challenge for a top six. They'll probably get playing
I was going
because
to say playing is potential. It's
Portland
potentially there.
Portland have kind of sacked themselves off. Like the Spurs, anyone that has Greg Popovich in the helm has a chance, but I
Yeah.
feel like they probably won't do it. And Sacramento, who we'll get to later, I feel like
Oh,
they could put in a decent challenge for the play-in at the moment. But at the moment, the Pelicans are still 10th, so they are actually at the moment in the play-in and have just made their team better. So I don't
mm,
see why they can't finish in that top 10 this year, and then maybe next year have a crack at trying to get top six, lock in the playoffs without having to go
yeah,
for the play-in. You know,
it makes
if
sense.
they build a solid team around them, maybe that'll send Zion back into the helm, or like like I was talking to someone what I sent him the trade. I was like the Pelicans, they you know, they just need like a decent point guard.
Yeah.
Like if Zion doesn't want to stay, they can like package Zion with a few poor players and then get a decent point guard. So why not try and get Dame Lillard?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm honest. But then again, I mean, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't go anyway. If you look at let's say in the off season, yeah, Dame looks, sees CJ, his boy, he knows he can work with him. He sees Zion, who can't work with Zion, and then he just chucks himself into the mix. Like he sees this himself. He might push for that move because then this one trade has now put like the Pelicans on the potential like to like challenge for top 6 next year. And if you throw Dame in there, that's like I'd almost say you can confirm a top 6.
Yeah, maybe definitely.
And I mean, like you never know, his boy
Obviously,
might just drop him
they
two
probably won't.
messages
They
like,
they
"Yo,
might have
I'm."
Zion, but yeah,
They might. I mean, I'm assuming that he'd stay because I feel like he would.
you never know. I think
Mm,
if he does play, you'll have to wait until he gets back. If he
yeah.
see if he plays this season, see how the big three kind of gel together.
Mm,
If they can get game time in before next season, it'll probably be a bit easier for them to sort something out.
yeah. True.
Speaking of the Blazers, though, exclusive Beyond the Arc news. The Blazers have just gotten Joe Ingles from the Jazz.
Like right now,
Like right now, yeah.
yo, that's like the first time we've ever had like live news. That's crazy.
I would like a breaking news. Tablet.
Breaking news. I'm
No,
gonna have to see this.
it's not a big trade. But the Jazz have pretty much traded the Blazers Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles is out for the rest of the season, but he's a solid role player. A decent vet. Maybe he can be someone that can. Now Dame Lillard has seen that he's got Joe Ingles, and now Dame Lillard wants to stay.
Imagine. No, so this says it's a 3-team deal.
Yeah,
So that's. Mm. So the Spurs are involved as well,
yeah. So the
and the
Spurs have got
Spurs
Satoransky,
and the,
who
and the and the second round pick as well.
yeah,
Damn, yo, that's crazy.
yeah.
This just happened like right now. That's. Mm.
But anyway, moving on to the second big trade that we were going to talk about today, which it happened like 2 days ago, and I'm still not like sure what I think about it. And it's the Sabonish trade.
Yes, I know you.
I've no idea who's come off better at the moment. Because obviously, Indy sent Karis LeVert away. I forget to who. Yeah. Indy sent Karis LeVert to the Cavs.
Mm.
But like days after he dropped 42 against the Bulls. And then traded for Tyrese Halliburton from the Kings, who I like a lot.
Yeah.
But then Indy traded Domantas Sabonis, who I rate highly,
Yes.
back to the Kings as part of the deal. Like a lot of people don't rate Sabonis. A lot of people I talk to don't rate Sabonis.
But I know you're a big fan of him. So when I saw this, I just wanted to know, like, that's like, I just wanted to know what you thought. But I've been seeing a lot of people reacting, and they think giving up Tyrese was a big L on the Pacers
because
part.
look, I mean, he was like a dark horse for Rookie of the Year last year, and I feel
Mm.
like that this year he's stepped up quite well too. And I just feel it's a case that if they were going to try and trade for Sabonis, they probably should have tried to keep Halliburton and Fox as well
Because then they could have built
as
like,
their backcourt,
yeah.
and then got Sabonis as their power forward. I feel
and that would have been like nice for them.
yeah, it would because
Very nice.
it's not even like it's Halliburton and then two trash players. Although the Pacers don't want to keep Buddy Hield and Tristan Thompson. Buddy Hield and Tristan Thompson
Mm.
aren't awful. Buddy Hield especially. I like Buddy Hield too. I do feel like the Kings had quite a few decent guards. I feel like Buddy Hield could have been the main package in that, and then they could have given him a few picks because
Yeah.
I mean I'd say that the Pacers are rebuilding, but I mean they never really had an amazing team in the first place. So I feel like they didn't have to get rid of Karis LeVert. So I feel like getting rid of LeVert probably means that they are rebuilding.
Yeah.
In some
I
way.
mean, it makes sense. It's the only logical explanation for like this whole trade deal what they got going on. But obviously, I remember we spoke about this a few weeks back, maybe a couple of months ago, and we were talking about how they're on the rebuild and how they would like handle it. Would they build around like Karis LeVert or Porzingis or whoever? And clearly, Sabonis, man, I'm tripping. Sabonis, my bad. But clearly, they just said, "Nah, forget all that. We're doing this new face of the team, which
I don't mind
they,
that. Halliburton, I like Halliburton.
he's a nice player, and clearly, like they've got a plan that no one else saw coming. I didn't see this coming. I don't know if you saw this. I know you was
No.
talking about a Sabonish trade potentially happening,
I was I
but
was I was saying Sabonis for Fox.
mm,
So yeah, I thought they'd keep Halliburton personally.
and it would have made sense if they did. But
I think for the I mean, I'm not saying that Fox is old, but I'm saying for the now, it's probably a better trade. But I think Halliburton's going to be a better player than Fox will be in the future.
I see. I come back to that as well. But who knows now where they're on their way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the Kings might get playing this year. I said that. I'm trying to think if I said that at the start of the season. I've forgotten. But like, I think that the Kings could get playing this year.
I feel like they have to now.
Maybe the Lakers might fall out. Who knows?
Who knows? I
Because
mean, hang
because
on.
I was going to segue away from the Kings trade and focus on the Lakers for a little bit because
Well, I was just gonna say last thing. Like, where do you think in the next few years Indy are gonna be? Then do you reckon
Indy.
they'll have like a successful rebuild or?
Well, I think yeah. Well, because they still have they still have Brogdon.
Mm,
They still have Malcolm Brogdon at point. They'll have Halliburton at shooting guard. If they can keep Miles Turner, which I don't think they will personally, I think Miles Turner's gonna be playing for someone else by the end of tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be the Bulls.
really?
But yeah, I don't think they'll be able to keep Turner. But yeah, I think they will get someone good for. I think they will get good assets for Turner, with good young players, which will build them up a little bit more. And yeah, obviously, given how competitive like 7th through 12th is, New York are 12th in the East, and I don't think anyone was expecting that. They're 13th. There's a clear divide in talent. They're kind of just in no man's land. You've got Orlando and Detroit, then Indy, and then everyone else kind of above.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to be in a decent position to get a lottery pick next year. And if they can strike lucky and get someone good, it might end up, it might not be it might be a quick turnaround. Sorry, words. It might be a quick turnaround.
Yeah, that's true. Who knows? I'm excited to see though.
Yeah, me too. Moving on to the Lakers, I feel like this will be the last thing we talk about trades before tomorrow. Before tomorrow's deadline. Do we think that the Lakers, obviously, it's a whole meme that LeBron, if he's not happy with his team, he'll sack everyone off and switch his team halfway through the season.
The Los Angeles LeBrons.
Do we think that the Lakers are going to make any big moves at the deadline?
Nah. I think now that we've got the big three back again, working together, you can see it actually does work out. AD is putting up numbers again.
Russ
isn't, but I mean, he's kind of. I know technically, like, if we're talking about like what he was and what everyone thought he was going to be at LA, he's a big player. But I think in that big three, He's a big role player. But I feel like, because the thing is with Russ, like he can turn up randomly. Like he might just like next game triple double. It happens with that guy. So I feel like they're gonna hold out at least until the end of the season. Because that right now I feel like that's all Russ is doing. He's just bouncing from team to team to team. And he probably will bounce again in the summer. I won't be surprised. But I feel like right now they won't make any changes because I think right now all they can do is just hope and pray and just play out the rest of the regular season and hope to get a play in because it should happen for LA.
Fair, fair.
I mean, LeBron right now is carrying that team on his back is unbelievable. AD is helping, but damn, they need that guy. Like it just shows you can be one of the oldest players in the league and still be one of the best. Like in my opinion, Giannis is the best basketball player in the world right now. But LeBron is like only a shy bit behind him to say he's what, 37, 36. The
Yeah,
guy came back from an injury and dropped a triple double. Like, you don't get that kind of stuff every day, man.
that's crazy. Yeah,
And I mean, if they do make playing and they're getting, like, even a decent run in the playoff, that's a successful season considering the shocking performances that some of the Laker players have been putting up.
fair, fair, fair enough. I don't think they'll make a trade either tomorrow. Or if
But
they do,
again,
it'll be for
who
something
knows?
like minor. I don't think it'll
Yeah,
be.
but who knows? I mean,
He's not going to press the panic button and ship off Russ. I don't think. No.
nah. But then again, I'm not even joking. I won't be surprised. Like, I'd be shocked, but not surprised.
Yeah, 'cause anything can happen at the trade deadline.
Literally. And when LeBron's the captain of your team, when LeBron's the man, who knows?
Final question. I did say that I was going to last thing to talk about. We're not going to
Mm.
talk about this for this much because I feel we're going to talk about it a lot next week, even if it happens or
Yeah.
not. One question: yes or no? Will Ben Simmons be a Brooklyn Net by the end of tomorrow?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna get it over?
I mean, I've been saying this one for time. I feel like it would just make sense for him to be at the Nets. I said this to you a while ago, and I feel like if it doesn't happen, then they really missed the trick on that one.
Oh, imagine no, but imagine KD carries on being injured, and then for home games, your main man that you're relying on to carry the team is Ben Simmons.
Oh my days! I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it should be Kyrie instead of Harden. I feel like it would make more sense for Brooklyn. Like that would never happen because of Kyrie's like away only rule.
I don't
But
know.
I don't.
Would he be able to play home games in Philly? I don't know what the rules are.
Probably. I mean,
I don't know
he
what the
can
rules
play
are in
away
basketball.
days at Philly. I feel like.
Oh,
So
okay. So yeah,
I'm
okay, yeah, maybe. But I think it is probably going to be for Harden. Harden's not very happy at the
he's not
in
he's
Brooklyn.
not happy at all. But because of the KD injury at the moment, the first like however long that KD is injured, it won't work out. But they probably will. No, they will be in the playoffs, obviously, and hopefully, if they've got KD well and Kyrie even on away games, then Ben Simmons. I don't know. I feel like it could work. I don't know.
If it does happen, then I think the Brooklyn Nets big three will go down in history as probably the biggest what if in NBA history.
Oh yeah, 1000%. Come on, we all remember like when once Harden got traded, everyone was like, "It's done."
It's raps. Yeah,
Like, it's wraps because it was Kyrie. Then a year later, it was KD. Oh no, well they came together, I think, but
yeah. And then KD
KD
was injured
skipped
for
a
the
whole year
season.
because he was injured. Then they got Blake. Then they got Harden, and everyone was like, "All right, calm. Now what? Now what?" Like, damn, that would be crazy if they don't win a chip. Like looking at all that, if they just never get a chip, people like
It's not even the case of them winning a chip. It's the fact that they haven't played. They've played together like 7 times.
yeah, it's not been a lot, but even then, like look to say last year KD, I mean, he did most of it on his own, in my opinion, and they almost like we'll always say that close to getting to the finals. They they probably would have won the chip that year as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks like it's one of those like KD may only get the chip if he's playing with Steph. Maybe that's the only thing.
Maybe. Well,
I-
we've talked about trades for quite a while there. Next
Mm.
week's going to be even
Trade
more
heavy.
mental,
It's gonna be trade heavy.
depending on how mad tomorrow gets.
Mm.
So I feel like before we end today's video, we're going to be talking about the predictions. And your boy went back to back last week. I'm gassed.
Yo, well done, man. I doubted you publicly, but you did it.
You outed me.
I did. I very much did.
And then I went 7-2 up before the last game.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Because you text me about it as well, and I was like, I'm still in this. I don't know what he's talking about. And then I got smoked.
Well,
And
before we get into the predictions for this week, let me remind you that if you predict a team correct, you get a point. If you predict the NBA's player of the game, you get 2 points. Well, you get a point added on to the point that you got for the team winning. So I feel like, without further ado, we should just get straight into it. It is 4-3 to you on the season. So you're still ahead. You're still ahead. But
this is the one that you need.
you've let it slip a little bit, you know.
I've been slipping.
So I have a big chance to get back in level on this, and we are going to be starting with the Bucks versus the Suns, which is a massive game.
Damn.
Yeah, I was looking at this week's games. There's a lot of mental games happening this week,
That's a tough one.
and I can't lie.
I'll let you pick first.
Let me pick. Oh, but I don't want to pick the right. So I'm just gonna say what team I think is gonna win. I'm not gonna say the player, and I think that the Suns might win. Like, the Suns have been unstoppable recently. Yes, Giannis just hit like a 45, 15.
But it's Giannis, man. Like, it's Giannis. The guy will drop like a 40 piece and a triple double and be like, oh yeah, cool. Like, I don't know. I feel like the Bucks. I mean, the finals. We're so up in the finals.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think Giannis is gonna pull up.
Okay. So I've gone with Booker because Devin Booker, he's been pulling through recently. You know,
He's been
he
like
hit
saucy.
back to back 30-point nights on back to back nights against the Bulls.
It's
Against the
the
Bulls and
Kobe
Sixers,
regen,
you
man.
know. Not against no useless teams down the bottom. Bulls and the Suns. Bulls and the Sixers. My word, we're both off it today, aren't we?
We're really slipping, man.
No, we keep it organic around the V on the Arc segments. We're human too. Right, well, it's not often that we have a conflicting first one.
I know that's why I let you pick first because I wanted to say the Bucks from the jump. I thought you might say them.
Fair. Well, next up is Lakers at Warriors, which again, massive game on paper. In reality, it's probably not. In reality,
It's not. I mean, in reality, we both know the Warriors are gonna win. It's just about who you think is gonna pull up.
Well,
Who I think is gonna pull up.
I personally think that you've gone with someone different because I think
But who?
I've gone for a bit of an outsider in Clay Thompson to be the man.
Damn, that's crazy. You're not gonna back the boy. How many times? Remember that?
Andrew Wiggins? Nah, I don't think so.
Come on, remember every time he said doubt Steph? I don't know. Steph, man. Steph, all day. Steph.
Fair. Well, one of the Splash Bros has to do bits for us to pull through. I think that's
Yeah,
probably the only one
true.
where I've looked at it and I'm like, I'm not wholly confident, but I'm still going to go with it. You know, I feel like...
I mean, they've both been like dropping about the same amount of numbers,
Yeah,
20,
yeah.
25, 26 each game. So it'll be a tough one.
Yeah. And then the Nets at the Heat. We've been going for about 49 minutes at the moment. And I know we touched on how bad Brooklyn have been last time out, but genuinely, Brooklyn have lost 9 straight now. You thought they'd pull it back, but they lost 9 straight. I sent you that thing.
Yeah, about what they
day.
were 25 in like 3 or something stupid. Like,
Down to the Celtics. Awful.
Damn. That's the Celtics too. Like, they've not been the best team.
No. Well, the Celtics are
I mean,
above the Nets now at the moment in their conference.
question is it an away game?
It is an away game.
Oh, okay.
I still don't think it'll matter because the Heat have been quite good recently. You know, top of the conference, they've overtaken the Bulls. They're managing to fend off the Bucks at the moment at the top. So I think it's going to be a Heat dub, and I'm going with Bam Adebayo as the guy I pull through. He's going to smoke Blake.
I'm gonna also say Miami, but I think Mr. Potential Sixth Man of the Year is gonna drop a 30-piece
Damn.
against
Tyler
this
Hero off the bench, fair.
of this poorly defending team.
Fair.
I feel like he's gonna.
Fair. I would.
If I'm
I would
right,
it, man.
that's gonna be crazy. Because
yeah,
that's
another Eastern Conference matchup. Cavs and the Sixers. Now I've been praising the Cavs a lot this year. I think the Cavs have been probably, other than the Bulls, maybe if you don't want to call the Bulls a surprise package, then the Cavs have definitely been the surprise package of the East this year.
I mean, I like how you were one of the only people that called it from the off season though. Because I will say that I do remember you called it from the off season. The Cavs are gonna surprise people.
I didn't call it as heavy as this.
As this good. You didn't call it this good, but you did say they're gonna be good.
Yeah.
And I doubted you. I was like, nah, bro, you're tripping.
But despite all of this, I can't not back a 76ers side that has Embiid in it. Obviously, last
potential MVP.
Like, obviously, the Suns beat the Sixers when I backed Embiid, so Embiid didn't do bits. But it just, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the Bulls. Embiid owns the Bulls. But I was watching the Bulls game against the Sixers on Sunday, and he's just not fair sometimes.
He's actually rude when it comes to your team. I don't know why he does that to you guys. Like, he's on violations for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
It's almost like just disrespect, but
it's a shame. I mean, I think the Cavs could have a chance, but I've gone with Embiid.
I mean, for the competition, because I don't know who's going to win that game. If I'm honest, I don't know who I can say with my full chest I can back. So what I will do is I will back the opposite team that you're backing. And I will say Evan Mobley.
Oh, the Rook. Okay.
Yes. The guy drops us a few surprising performances here and there. I could have said Jared Allen, but I don't know. I feel like Evan Mobley, because he's a rookie, people are going to sleep on him in the game a little bit, and he's going to
fair.
pull up.
I respect that. Predominantly, Hawks at the Celtics. Two sides who have been in decent form recently. The Hawks are doing it again, man. Well, I don't know why. First 40 games of the season, they just don't try, and then all of a sudden,
they're like,
they're back.
Time. All-star time.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, Trey's just come back and he's like, yeah, I'm a.
What's good now? I don't know. I feel like the Celtics have a great chance considering they've been pulling up on decent form recently, and like you showed me, they were absolutely smoking the Nets before the Nets could even start the game. So that would be a big confidence boost for them. I know there was no big players on the Nets roster in that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, now you can consider the Brooklyn Nets a big team. So it'll be a big confidence boost for those players. And I mean, the next great JT, fair. I feel like that's his game.
A lot of these games, it's generally just been a coin flip on who's going to win. I know, if a team did win, I'd know who I'd want to go for.
Yeah.
Generally, I wouldn't know, but I'm going with Iced Trey for this one. I know that Trey likes a game against the Celtics. I feel
he does.
So I feel like he might pull through. And then the final game, I was wanting to get some games to do with the players that have been traded, so I've gone with a Pelicans game because they are hosting the Grizzlies over the next week. It's going to be
Will that be CJ's first game?
It probably won't be CJ's first game. Well, you never know. They might rest him a few games. Game in training a little bit more, but it's towards the end of the week. So I think CJ will be playing at that point. But yeah, they've got 3 games before that from the time of recording. It's probably their first big Western Conference test. You know, they've got Miami, San Antonio, and Toronto before this Memphis game. So this is probably the first big Western Conference test. You know, if you wanna prove yourself against big Western teams, this is how you do it, because the Grizzlies aren't no joke this year.
100%. I mean, Ja Morant is absolutely bullying people right now. It is unbelievable watching that guy play. Like, I'm so in awe of his basketball right now. It's like, I couldn't have predicted how good he was going to be in his 3rd season. But damn, he is pulling up, man.
He's
To the
he's
point where,
taken that All-Star starter and he's rode the momentum at the moment.
yeah, and it's to the point where, like, I'm thinking, how far can the Grizzlies go in the playoffs? Because we know they're gonna get playoffs, and it's just about how far can they go, because right now they are bullying teams, good teams as well, and like, if they keep playing like that, they could be an underdog for, like, the playoffs. And I don't know, man, they're looking scary. Like, ever since Ja got the injury, that team just switched up, and when he came back, they
They've gotten better.
kept on, like, just going crazy.
Definitely.
So I don't know. I feel like Ja is just gonna bully them, because the Pelicans, I mean, they're still not great, and obviously we've talked about what they can be, but right now I don't think they are that, and I think Ja is just gonna bully them. I feel like you probably thought the same.
Man, why'd I let
We
you go?
can
Why'd
we
I let
can
you
pick the
go?
same. We can pick the same on one thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact it's the last game of the week. So if I'm in the bin, and it
Then
goes down last.
it's peak.
So I say it goes both ways though. I think it's gonna be a draw game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
we picked Reggie Jackson last week for the Battle of LA, and Reggie Jackson pulled through. So it might happen again. It probably will happen again. That'll conclude it. I think this is genuinely, it's so many good games this week, I think, between big teams, ahead of the All-Star weekend. Things are starting to ramp up a little bit. We've been going for quite a while today.
We have, but I'm proud of us. Because this week has been a big week as well, and I think next week as well is going to be massive. Obviously,
be even bigger.
All-Star weekend is going to be right around the corner as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Next week's going to be a big one.
Yeah. So, well, without further ado, thank you everyone for listening in this week. Make sure you like and subscribe if you listen on YouTube. Share it out no matter what you're listening on. Big thanks to Sully once again for accompanying me.
Of course, man.
Being the co-host with the most here on Beyond
I like
the Arc.
it.
And we will see you guys next week for the final Beyond the Arc before the All-Star weekend. We will be predicting the All-Star weekend game, and we will be just reviewing all the trades that have been going down.
The All-Star teams will have been drafted by then, I'm sure, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So we will see you all then for probably a video longer than this. So look forward to that. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.